What is up, awesome people? And welcome back to another Wi-Fi Wednesday shenanigans! Okay, so here we are at that time of the month where the Pokemon Global Link releases their monthly challenges. So last month we had the International Challenge for February, which included the VGC 17 rolls. So basically anything caught from the lower decks was allowed to be used. And that was it, you just went at it and it was a double battle, all the other VGC fun stuff. So I entered that, I did a whole weekend of live streaming that entire event. So here we are, we're a bit over a month later, just a little bit under a month, sorry. And I'm now finally showcasing some of the best battles, or what I consider to be some of the best battles from the entire weekend. So if you want to see the whole live stream event, as I said, there's 3 of them from the whole weekend. I did post them to my YouTube channel. They're somewhere in my archive. If I remember, I will post them in the description below. So basically, I went out and I chose, obviously, not a top tier or top meta VGC 17 team. And I was like, alright, so my personal goal for the competition was to reach at least 1,600 points. And guess what? I did it! I reached exactly 1,600 points, so I'm extremely happy with my results considering I played like trash in some of my battles. I will admit that. Did play like utter garbage. It was perfectly fine because I reached my target goal, which was 1,600 points. So here we are. We've seen this team already. I have featured it already in Wi-Fi Wednesday. It's the Harry Bro, or the Harry Bro tree. I think I end up officially dubbing it in the official competition. And what I've learned overall in the competition was the team isn't perfect, and I think at the start I already knew that, but I didn't know where exactly the team was going wrong. And hopefully in tonight's video I'll be able to show you guys some of the little, I guess, errors in this team and ways I could actually improve this team, which, as I said in one of my previous Wi-Fi Wednesdays episode, is something that you should always aim for, is ways to improve your team, because in my honest opinion there is no such thing as a perfect team. There's always going to be something that counters the team. So anyways, I have drabbled on for long enough. Let's get into these shenanigans and see where exactly this team goes wrong and what other shenanigans this team actually pulls off. Because as I said, this is a really decent team considering the fact that I just whipped up on the spot for like, you know, maybe 30 minutes of team building. Anyways, we're going to lead with the Executor and the Hariyama leads. So as I said, this is kind of my core alongside Hariyama and Slowbro, and they're going to lead with my their Gyarados and Marowak. So straight off the bat there, I can just tell straight off there that the Marowak's going to have the Lightning Rod ability to just complement the fact that Gyarados is a 4-time weakness to electric type moves. So I'm going to go for the Fake Out there because I know Gyarados is going to go for the Ice Fang, and even though I know off the top of my head I can live an Ice Fang very badly with Executor, I also know that Marowak is going to go for the Flare Blitz. That's going to pound me really bloody hard there, doing 3/4 damage, bringing me down to low orange, dealing 1/4 damage as well to itself thanks to recall damage. I do get the Citrus Berry off, thanks to Executor's item being, of course, Citrus Berry, which activates when the Pokemon hits half health or below, and get the Trick Room up. So it's like, yes, I do have my core of my team up, so we're ready to roll here. And plus, both these Pokemon are weak to Rock Slide. So I'll go for the Draco Meteor here, because this is the best I've got. I got Flamethrower, Draco Meteor, Sleep Powder, and Trick Room, of course, on the Executor. As you'll see at the end of the video, I've got, obviously, all the overview for the Pokemon. And the Marowak does live in the very low red there, unfortunately, which is bad for me because Rock Slide does drop by 25% because it is hitting both targets, but of course I can knock out the Marowak. Don't get a flinch on the Gyarados, which is unfortunate because the Ice Fang is going to knock me out from the Executor from that range, considering I know if I was about 96 to 100% HP, I would have definitely lived Ice Fang just off the top of my head from the damage calculations I ruled up. Anyways, my next Pokemon in reserve is going to be Vikavolt. That was on the side alongside Mudsdale, I do believe. So they're going to send out their Clefable, which was one of their Pokemon at the back. And they're going to withdraw their Gyarados because they know a Thunderbolt is coming their way. And they're going to go into Muck, which is kind of a problem because that most of the time carries knockoff, and it runs most of the time Gluttony with Figgy Berry. So even if I do knock it below half, it's going to activate its Figgy Berry and then restore itself back up to like most full health. But in this case, it didn't happen, which made me think, okay, is this one of those very rare monks that carry Power of Alchemy, which is quite intriguing to be precise. Anyways, wait for Poison Jab on Clefable. Didn't knock it out because Clefable is an absolute tank. Did go for the Moonblast on my Hariyama. Doesn't take me out because I am running a lot of special defense EVs in Hariyama. So I do live very low health there. Shadow Sneak coming there on the Hariyama, which knocks me down to 12 HP, which is awesome. I go for the Thunderbolt again, hit the Muck, but I fail to take it out. That invisible focus sash is so annoying, but I do get the Parrot Hacks on the Muck. Figgy Berry finally kicks in now, so that's going to bring the Muck up to half health. And I do go for another poison jab. This should take out the Clefable, which it does. Awesome, that thing can go down. But regardless, I'm going to die to Rocky Helmet, recall damage. And if I didn't die to that, I would have died to burn damage anyway. So Power of Alchemy kicks in. I'm like, okay, most of the time they carry Gluttony, but that's still a nice sight to see. So Hariyama also goes down, which reveals my last Pokemon in reserve, which of course is Mudsdale, who of course is super effective to both Gyarados and Muck. Although I'm going to get an Intimidate drop there as well, which made a bit of a difference as well on the Clefable as well. I think if I didn't have the Intimidate on my Hariyama, I still would have hit the Clefable, but I think would have knocked it down to the red instead of knocking it out. So it would have come very close. So knockoff there on the Vikavolt knocks off his Expert Well, which is fine because at this stage it's pretty much a game because I'm super effective against both. And I can hit the Gyarados for super effective with Thunderbolt, knock that out, and then I can go for High Horsepower, which I missed, of course, that turn, and Trick Room rears out. I was like, okay, that's cool, because it's game anyways, and I did outspeed the Muck, and judging from the damage I did before, I can come close to knocking out that Muck. So again, I failed to knock out the Muck. I must have got max damage the first turn. It was like, oh great, thanks for the false hope there. But it does go down to the Earthquake for my Mudsdale, and that's game. So that was the second match that I had on record. I'm not too sure where it was in the actual battles. The first one that I had wasn't exactly the most entertaining because it was a complete Hariyama and Slowbro sweep, so I was like, okay, I think we'll pass on that one. I think we've seen enough of those. Anyways, here comes the second battle. So this one does have a Garchomp I quickly saw on screen there, so I was like, you know what's coming. It's either Ground MZ, Joy Scarf, and the occasional Assault Vest Garchomp, but I think I also saw a Incineroar as well, so we'll see what shenanigans are coming here. So they're going to leave with the Espeon and the Garchomp here. So I was like, okay, this isn't good because Espeon can go either Dazzling Gleam or Psychic, which is super effective against both, or it can go Psychic and knock out Hariyama. But I do have to go for Fake Out there and just stop the Garchomp from using Dragon Claw or something on my Executor because I do need Trick Room up. So the Espeon goes for the Dazzling Gleam here. I'm like, well, that's good because I can tank that relatively well with both Pokemon. Executor having nice base special defense and Hariyama having just nice base special defense and special defense investment as well. So Flame Ball kicks in there, which is great, but however, it's going to be pretty much useless here because I know whatever I do with Hariyama, I can't knock out Espeon in one hit. But I go for Dracomonia regardless with Executor, which does take out the Garchomp, which is awesome. So I was like, just in case it doesn't take out the Garchomp for whatever reason, it's a Assault Vest or a bulky Garchomp, I did go for Rock Slide just in case. So otherwise, if I know that was a guaranteed OHKO, I would have swapped out Hariyama and went into Mudsdale, probably, I'd say. And just keep Hariyama reserved just in case something went sour. So that was about the only thing I could have probably changed up there that turn. So anyways, with Hariyama down, Mudsdale comes out in the field, and they're going to send out Jolteon. I'm like, well, that's cool, because about the only thing Jolteon has in its arsenal to hit a Mudsdale is Hidden Power Ice, and even then it's not going to touch Mudsdale for that much damage, because I do run Max Health and Assault Vest. So it's a Focus Sash Jolteon, which is kind of no surprise. Every Jolteon I see on Battle Spot runs Focus Sash. So I go for another Draco Meteor here. I'm like, just out of curiosity, let's see how much damage this does, because Espeon does have nice base special defense. If anything, all EV evolutions have nice base special defense. Espeon does go for the Reflect. I was like, okay, so that's fun. It's probably got Light Clay. So here comes the Hidden Power Ice as predicted, or it could be Hidden Power Grass. And as I said, it's not going to do that much to have Mudsdale because it's an absolute beast. Does get the Stamina boost as well, so it's going to raise my defense by +1. So from here, it's pretty much, yeah, I'm going to knock out both with Rock Slide. So good night, EV Evolutions. It was nice knowing you. So they both go down. I think that turn, I went for Flamethrower or something, so just in case I missed on one of them. And it would have been unfortunate if I missed on the Espeon, because Flamethrower wouldn't have done nothing to that thanks to -4 and special attack. So anyways, our last Pokemon to reserve is the Bravery, and this thing can be so tanky. It's very deceiving on how tanky this thing can be. So there's the Rock Slide. This is coming from Max Attack, Adamant Mudsdale of all things. Doesn't do as much as I thought it would. So I missed with Sleep Powder, unfortunately, which means I'm now at the mercy of Brave Bird. So incoming Bravery alert. Let's just salute the Bravery, because it just OHKO'd my Executor. I don't even think if I had max HP, I would have lived the Brave Bird. So that does a lot of recall damage to Bravery, and Life Orb damage on top of that as well. So that brings it down to the red. Trick Room does wear out. I was like, oh, it's pretty much game anyways, even without my Trick Room. So they're going to go for the Shadow Claw on the Bravery onto the Slowbro. I'm assuming this is Sheer Force. I'd assume the fact that it's running Life Orb as well, because, or maybe not, it could be Defiant. Not very often I see a Life Orb Bravery, that's all. I normally see like Choice Band or Choice Scarf, and normally it doubles it's a Defiant one. So anyways, I finish it off there with a Heavy Slam on Mudsdale, and ending that game as well. So that's the second battle, and the last battle for tonight, let's have a look at this one. This one's looking more like your top meta teams that you see in these particular type of competitions, except maybe like Incineroar, maybe not so much. Anyways, we're going to go for the same lead here. We've got Executor on the Hariyama, and this is one of the things I kind of think this is where I can kind of improve. So in the stream I did mention I could probably add in Togi Demaru, which we saw in my Sunrune team, replace Primarina with, because let's face it, in any of these replays you probably won't see Primarina. It didn't do me anything in the competition, unfortunately. But the only downside really to this particular lead is Hariyama is countered by both Tapu Lele and Tapu Fini. And with Misty Surge up, or Misty Train, I can't get my Flame Orb up, which is a huge difference in damage calculations, so I can't get the extra boost. So anyways, I went for Fake Out on Tapu Fini because it was going to go for like Moonblast or something and take me out. Zen Headbutt knocks me down to 5 HP, and a Bullet Punch takes me out, but I did get the Trick Room up in the end, so that's all I care about in the end. So I got Flamethrower on Executor, so I'm going for that on the Metagross, and this thing is going to circuit up pretty well. So doing just a bit over quarter damage there. Tapu Fini goes for the Reflect there. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I've actually never known Tapu Fini to ever do that. Most of the time it's like a really scary sweeper, the Choice Specs, Life Orb, or whatever. So I got Vikavolt here. I'm like, well, let's see how you like a Thunderbolt Expert Belt Vikavolt. And obviously it doesn't like that because it went down very nicely. So I go for another Flamethrower here. I'm like, well, judging from the first damage, this should bring it to about 3/4 damage. Actually brings it down to the red, which is very nice. So another Zen Headbutt coming my way. It actually connects, unfortunately. Dealing a lot of damage to my Vikavolt there. So here comes the Incineroar. Now, the beauty about Incineroar here is it's a very interesting Pokemon. In fact, I'm actually quite wants to run an Incineroar. I can run like Choice Band, can run Trick Room very well, I can run Assault Vest very well too. If anything, I'd probably use Assault Vest, Incineroar and Trick Room. Because it does have Leech Life, it has Flare Blitz, it's got Darkest Lariat to bypass Stanima and Mudsdales, all the other fun stuff. So I went for Leech Life there, which is super effective on my Executor, does bring it down to about half health and restores its own health as well. So it is going to activate my Citrus Berry as well. This is what I mean. If it is Assault Vest, this thing can just keep bringing back its health. So a viable recovery at least. And it is a Fire type. And it's also a Dark type, so no Prankster as well on it. So no Klefkeys can really muck it up. No Prankster from, the kitty catties. I can't remember the name at the moment. Meowstic, there we go. Anyways, Katana comes in. I hate Katanas after this whole challenge. So it goes for Protect, unfortunately, so I did go for Flamethrower. That's not going to work, and at the same time, it is stalling out my Trick Room, unfortunately, so not good. Another Leech Life coming my way from Incineroar, knocking my Executor down to the red. I do believe I've got a Harvest to get my Citrus Berry back on the last turn. I did, so Citrus Berry activates once again, bringing Executor back up to above half health. Oh, sorry, around half, my bad. And unfortunately, Trick Room ends once again. And as I said, Trick Room always ends when I don't want it to end. So another Protect comes up, so that Scumbag Double Protect actually works. And then again, I can't complain because I've done it once in this challenge. So Acrobatics kicks off from the Incineroar. I guess mainly for fighting type Pokemon, but it ain't gonna work on Vikavolt. So that's gonna take out the Incineroar with the Thunderbolt. And I'm like, Reflect wears off. I'm like, well, that's cool because I've got special Pokemon up front. Harvest activates once again, getting back another Citrus Berry. And since I'm in the yellow, I can activate, eat my Citrus Berry again. Nom nom nom, back up into the green. So the last, obviously, remaining Pokemon is Katana. And they've made a very desperate attempt here to get a crit, but they don't get the crit. Executor sticks around, Flamethrower hits it. And unfortunately, my worst fears activate. It's got a Focus Sash. I'm like, oh, for Pete's sake, I have Showdown to blame for my fear of Focus Sash. But thankfully, I had Vikavolt on the field, so that takes out the Katana. I'm like, thank God I took that out, because I think at the very most, Thunderbolt wouldn't have worked, but I did have Bug Buzz on Vikavolt, which would have been super effective on the Katana. And my Pokemon in reserve was Mudsdale, which would not have liked a Leaf Blade at all. Even if I did get a stamina boost with no recovery, I think I would have taken maybe one at the best. If it was a crit, it would have been O-code. Hard to tell, but I think most times I badly leave a Leaf Blade from Katana. off the top of my head anyways, don't quote me, but I think it would have come close to knocking me out. Anyways, guys, that is it for tonight's Wi-Fi Wednesday. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So, for those of you who are interested in the International Challenge, obviously these are the ones that give out the Mega Stones. February gave out Beedrill and Wildlight. As for March's International Challenge, they do give out Steelix-Eye and Pidgeot-Eye, and the registration for that does open up on the 16th, so in a couple of hours I'll be able to register for the International Challenge. And I do believe the actual challenge itself should begin next weekend, I think, off the top of my head, from what I remember on the schedule on Global Link. So if you want to get on the action to get a Steelix-Eye and Pidgeot-Eye, you need to register for this competition, participate and do 3 battles, and then in April you'll be able to get the 2 Mega Stones that I mentioned. And as for those who didn't enter the February challenge, as I mentioned in the Mega Stone video, next month there should be a mystery gift event to get those 2 stones for everyone. So don't worry if you didn't enter the challenge. And if you don't enter the next challenge as well, there will be another event for everyone to get those Mega Stones. So anyways, guys, I've travelled on enough. I need a drink of water now because I'm really, really thirsty. So until next time, this is Lady KrimZen saying ciao for now, but not forever. Ciao.